Hi, I think that this is working. You know, I have been trying to do live videos for quite some time, and I always have such technical difficulties. But here I am. I'm trying to do another live because I love to talk about stuttering, and a lot of people have asked me lots of questions. So I figured the best way for me to answer them is to go live and to give you a chance to ask questions. However, I don't know if I'm going to see all the questions, but I hope I will. Let's see if I can see them. I couldn't use my computer to do this. I wanted to, but I couldn't see it. However, maybe I can see it. Yeah, I guess if you post questions, I guess I can see it on my page on the computer. So I'll go from one to the other. Okay, so today I want to talk to you about 7 powerful ways to overcome stuttering. And that's a really big topic. You know, so many people come to me and they ask me to give them a quick trick. Just let me know. I have a big meeting next week and I want to get rid of my stuttering before my big meeting. Well, you don't do it that way. That's not something. Stuttering is something that has so much to do with the way speech has developed, our ability to speak has developed, and so many other things as well. It has to do with the thoughts that we have, our past experiences, and I really want people to understand what stuttering is, because it has been really a very misunderstood problem for so very long. And the reason why it's so misunderstood is that everybody's been looking at the speech and trying to figure out ways to overcome stuttering by trying to change something in the speech. And people really, really believe that they're having problems saying certain words or certain sounds. And that just isn't the way that what the problem really is. Hi, Linda. Glad to see you, that you're here. I hope that you'll ask some questions maybe, and some also that other people will come on and ask some of the questions that they've been sending me emails and asking me about. So, as I was saying, that it's really difficult to understand stuttering if we're just looking at the speech. And I have come to the conclusion, it's taken me a long time, many years, but I have come to the conclusion from all of the experience that I've had, and I've treated thousands of people who stuttered in the several decades that I have been working exclusively with people who stutter. And what I have found is that we have to look at the speaking system, the system that goes into action when we speak, and not be looking at the speech itself. And when we do, we can understand what stuttering is. And once we understand it, we can see what changes really can be made to overcome it. So there are many different parts of the stuttering system. And there are some parts that everybody thinks about, like the articulation, the making the voice. Those parts, everybody will say that that's part of what goes into speaking. And that's so true. But there's so much more to it. There is also developing ideas, which, you don't think of that as being part of what goes into making stuttering. But it is part of what we do when we speak. We develop our ideas. And right now, I'm thinking really about what I want to talk about and not about the words I'm saying. And that's the other part of it. How does what I want to talk about become language? Well, it just sort of happens. And this is part of what stuttering really is. It is when all of the attention is on the language, the speech sounds, planning, looking ahead, and thinking about the words you're going to say. That is so much what stuttering is. Instead of just paying attention to the thoughts that you have. And when we're speaking, we really do need to concentrate on the thoughts we have. So another thing that we have to really pay attention to is timing. It's really important to look at what the timing is between when the language develops and when it's being said. As there's anybody around who's listening in, just think, when do you stutter more? When you plan the words you're going to say and then say them? Or do you stutter more when you just forget you're even talking and you speak simultaneously as your thoughts are developing? The timing is really important. And part of what goes into making stuttering is that first the speaker is thinking what he's going to say and then wants to get it out. Well, that brings me to my topic. There's one sentence that I think says so much about what stuttering is. And that is the sentence, I have to try to get the words out. This sentence is so much involved in stuttering because in the normally fluent speaking system, there's no such thing as trying to get the words out. A person, first of all, when he's speaking, isn't trying. When I go to speak, I'm not trying to speak. It's an automatic process. And that is part of overcoming stuttering, is that it has to go from being a controlled process where you're trying to get words out and turn it into a process that is automatic, that involves no trying whatsoever. This is really, really important. And then in that sentence, you try to get the words out. What's the out? When a person's speaking, there's no out. The language development goes on in the brain, and the voice is created in, and I'm putting emphasis on that word, in. The voice is created in the throat where the vocal cords are, and the mouth is moving automatically, just moving, so there's no out. But when you're trying to get words out, it has you trying to do something that is not part of speaking. It's doing an action that has nothing to do with just developing your thoughts as language and using your voice and letting your mouth go automatically. So this whole concept of I have to try meaning taking control over a process that is meant to be automatic, and then trying to get out. Okay, there's nothing to get out. And then the other part is words. When we speak, it's not about trying to say words. Words are part of what we create. So when a person is speaking, they have a thought, and that thought becomes speech sounds. My name is made up of Barbara. By the way, I don't even think I introduced myself. Yeah, I'm Barbara Dahm. And this is speech sounds. And one sound after another that we, in a language, know to go one after the other and have a meaning. That's a word. But when we're speaking, we don't create, we're creating the word. We don't use the word to create the word. So we're not trying to first know the word and then create it. Speaking is just about creating the words, the language that we want to express. So speaking, we have to look at this system. And people don't look at the system. Instead of looking at the system, they think, well, should I try to be fluent, or should I try to accept myself and my stuttering? Both of these are forms of trying. First of all, accepting stuttering and wanting to speak with ease and comfort are not conflicting ideas. But trying to be fluent and thinking you should allow yourself to stutter, those are conflicting ideas. And I see no reason for that conflict. Because if we stop looking at the stuttering and the fluency and just think about our speech system and wanting to make it work as naturally as possible, then we're not in conflict, because we're not trying to speak fluently, and we're also not saying I have to stutter in order to be me. And really, that brings me to another point. Is a person's identity the way they speak? Is speaking an identity? Is the way you walk your identity? If you don't walk straight and you want to have better, healthier posture, is that changing your identity? I don't think so. And I don't think if you pay too much attention to your words and try to get them out at one time and then start doing it with more ease and just thinking of your thoughts, that you're losing your identity. So I think when we're looking at stuttering and fluency, and that's where our focus is, that's where we get into conflicts with identity, with what should I do, with do I accept myself, or do I have to try to be somebody who I'm not? Those problems all disappear when we start looking at our system and saying, hey, I can do things easier. We do things easier in many things we do. If we're typing, maybe we want to learn to type with more ease, or if we're playing a sport, maybe we want to learn how to do it better. So speaking with more ease and letting go of all the trying is something that people can do, and it doesn't really mean that they have to give up the identity of who they are. So if you're speaking with more ease and comfort, you're not losing out on the person that you know and that you are. You're just doing something in a little different way. So let's go back for a minute and let's look at what would be the 7 powerful ways to overcome stuttering. If we take into consideration all that I've said about how it is a system, how it is meant to work automatically, that the attention should be on the message and not on how to speak or what the words are and things like that. If this is our perspective, then what 7 powerful ways, things that we could do, would help you? And truly they do help you. They do, because everybody, all of the people who I have worked with who do these things do find that they can speak flowingly.